Week 17, Rams, Cardinals. Going through what y'all need to know to make some money on this bitch. So we got the picks real quick. We got the Cardinals favored by 2.5 in Los Angeles, and we got a over/under set at 41. Um, I'm low-key actually going to be on the Rams winning this game. I don't think it's bettable. Mainly, you have a quarterback you just don't know anything about. Never a safe situation. But I'll get into why I do think the Rams probably should win this game. And as far as the over/under goes, though, I do think over 41 is bettable. Again, you got to be careful with that. You don't A quarterback you don't know is really untrustworthy. But there's so many tools in this game, and 41 is a pretty low number. I definitely think it's on the lower end of bettable. But stick around, so you how and why that's how it go down. So first, Cardinals offense. Injury wise, likely no Larry Fitzgerald. There's some reports they might tough it out and play. We'll see. Even if he is, who knows how much he'll have. And Max Williams, Daryl Daniels, two tight ends questionable. On the Rams side, Micah Kaiser out, starting linebacker, activated FIR, not ready to play. Leonard Floyd questionable. That one really matters actually. But so listen, run game. Cardinals suck at running the ball. I've talked about this all their videos, and it's just the case that their numbers get inflated because of Kyler, who he could do that here too. Don't get me wrong, but in terms of like running the ball down to down, controlling possession, controlling the ball, they suck at it. Their scheme is bad. They do this cheap imitation of the Rams 49ers. It's ugly. And here, with how good the Rams defensive front is, even without also Michael Brockers on the COVID list, they're not going to be very good. On the interior, Aaron Donald is infinitely better than anyone on the Cardinals, even two of them at the same time. And Sebastian Joseph Day, good nose tackle, great gains, good backup nose tackle, and frankly, Ashawn Robinson, Morgan Fox, like they still have depth even without Michael Brockers. And on the edges, Samson Ebicam, Leonard Floyd, both good edge defenders, and even their backups. Justin Hollins is actually shown to be okay. Obo Okoronkwo, more of a pass guy. But the point is that they still have a deep, really good defensive front, and the Cardinals' offensive line still blows at run blocking. Right. Now, are there chances? Yes, mostly because at the second level, without Micah Kaiser, you're talking about Troy Reader, who I actually think is all right and proved to be all right. And then Kenny Young, I talked about him and how he's not very good in some other videos before. That's the case. Now, I might exaggerate that a little bit. He's not quite the disaster that I had made him out to be in those games, but if there's a spot to attack, it's there. But the pass game. So, Christian Kirk on COVID list too for the Cardinals, of course. That really matters here. Now, I don't think Christian Kirk's very good. I think that's pretty obvious if you actually watch him play. But good ain't the same as useful. And with Kyler Murray, Christian Kirk is useful, right? Because when you have somebody who can run that fast in a straight line and actually he doesn't have ball skills. Actually, he has terrible ball skills, but who can run in a straight line into space and at least, physically catch a ball. When you take that away and you leave Kyler with just options that are not all that great, there are really issues. Now, I'll get to that. Pass rush first. Aaron Donald, near destructive issue here. Cardinals are going to have an awful time blocking him. And on the edges, I like the Cardinals tackles at times, but between Leonard Floyd and those guys I mentioned earlier, they're going to be at least able to press the pocket in and play disciplined, keep lanes and get to Kyler whenever he moves out of the pocket. That's what we saw when the Rams played the 49ers earlier this year, and that would be the case again here. Now, the receivers. DeAndre Hopkins, I've talked about this every time. It's going to be the case again. He cannot consistently beat Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey, Stephon Gilmore, those types of bigger corners, he struggles against. Now, struggles is relative term, of course. DeAndre Hopkins still good. I would expect the same. It's whatever, 5 for 80, 6 for 90, which, again, really useful, but there's a difference between that and what they probably need from him, which is like 12 for 180 or something shit like that. Like, he's shown throughout his career literally every time that he can't do that against Jalen Ramsey. Now, other than him, that's way worse because before at least you had Christian Kirk, right, in the previous Rams game, and you had Larry Fitzgerald, but without them, then you're looking at Andy Isabella, who is not skilled as a receiver, and is not. Troy Hill and Darius Williams both significantly better than him at their respective positions. The Rams other corners. And Keyshawn Johnson, Trent Sherfield are like the most marginal replacement level receivers, specifically Trent Sherfield, but they're really going to struggle to get open, all of them, in this game with any level of consistency. Again, outside of DeAndre Hopkins, but getting open, like killing guys consistently throughout a game, not really. That's not why he's good. And while he's going to be fine, he has a super high floor as a receiver. His ceiling in this game not very high. Outside, whatever. If he catches two 80-yard bombs, which I'm not going to rule out, then it's going to look better than that. But the ceiling for the purposes of this, what they need is not there. So then you talk about Kyler, and Kyler has ups and downs. He is still good, and I do think he's going to be still getting better. But when he's given a not clean pocket versus Aaron Donald and disciplined edge rushers with only DeAndre Hopkins to throw to, we've seen this year that just doesn't lead to that much success. Now, if he had more options in this game, he could do a lot better, and there are chances downfield because of the Rams safeties not being, specifically Jordan Fuller. He is clearly a smart player and everything, but he just lacks long speed, and that is an issue with Kyler's ability and willingness to throw the ball far down the field. But there's really not a lot there to move the ball up and down. So overall, I had them at 16 to 24 points. Now, Kyler still has a high floor, so I would lean closer to the 20 side of that for sure. It's just a thing. Him and Lamar Jackson share that just with their rushing ability, with their ability to kind of create stuff, and them being legitimately smart, good quarterbacks. Well, good, smart quarterbacks. They can find ways to move the ball at times regardless. But there's just a huge lack of consistency in this game. So then you talk about the Rams offense. Now, I'm going to preface this with you have a complete unknown at quarterback, right? It's not even like somebody who's taken NFL snaps before, really, so any meaningful. So there's only so much you can guess. So I'll talk about the run game, but then I'll kind of say, can I explain why he has a chance, why John Wolford has a chance to do something here. So, yeah, as far as running the ball goes, Rams offensive line, they're okay. They look decent in the scheme, and they play well together. I'll definitely give them that. But here, the Cardinals front, it's really more of a neutral situation. I talk about a lot how if it's a neutral, it kind of favors the offense. And I do think that's the case here, but it's not like perfect. And Cardinals' defensive front, not awful, despite all the injuries they've gone through. Angelo Blackson, I think, is okay. Tamata Pico's actually shown to be reasonable still at his age. And Lecky Fotu, Richard Lawrence, their rookies are not garbage. So that's not like a huge advantage, but I think it's okay. And on the edges, Cardinals' edge defenders, not awful either. Devon Kennard, I think, plays well. Marcus Golden, definitely a disciplined, smart, veteran player. And Hassan Reddick, you can run the ball right at him all day, every day. But he can penetrate a little bit, and as a backside guy, he's not like at the end of the world. So there's not a ton of advantage in the line of scrimmage. Now, it's probably enough to be able to run the ball. Like, I don't want to overrate the Cardinals' defensive front or anything, but just keep that in mind. And on the second level, there are issues for the Cardinals. So Jordan Hicks, I like him in a linebacker. I think he's pretty good. But he's not like a perfect, he's not like a one-man show. And Devondre Campbell is a legitimate issue against these run schemes. We've seen it both times they play the 49ers. We've seen it when they play the Rams. He just struggles sideline to sideline now. Is he awful? Not quite, but he can really be an issue, and he was a huge issue in the last Rams game. Now, Budda Baker kind of steps up and helps with that for sure as a run game player. Now, he is questionable. I'm just going to assume he's going to play for a game like this, way and get into the playoffs, but There's issues because of Devondre Campbell at the second level. Now, I don't want to overrate one, mediocre. He's not even bad. He's just mediocre players, negative impact. But, yeah, so I think the Rams are going to be able to run the ball. Okay, nothing crazy. But, like, there is enough there to be able to move the ball. And as far as the passing goes, yeah, the tools are really there. If John Wolford can fairly consistently hit open players off of play action, then the Rams are going to be, like, really set up in this game. Because pass rush wise, Cardinals are not good at rushing the passer. Get the fuck out of here with this Hassan Reddick stuff. He's still not very good. He tries hard. He is athletic, and he gets cleanup sacks, and he's gotten into a lot of them. And I'm not gonna like roast him. He's better than, I am roasting him, but he's better than a lot of backup pass rushers. I'm not gonna say he's fucking I don't know, insert like rookie 7th rounder pass rusher out here, but he still doesn't generate rush as a solo guy at all. And their other players are fine. Marcus Golden tries hard. Kennard tries hard. And that's the thing is, if John Wolford is forced to sit back in the pocket, there's going to be enough pass rush to affect him from the edges. But if he doesn't need to, if he can throw the ball quickly, have a play action, if the Rams don't fall behind, that he actually, again, he has the tools to succeed because there's not going to be a pass rush that gets to him quickly in this game. And as far as receivers go, Robert Woods is infinitely better than any of the Cardinals secondary players. Especially, I mean, listen, Patrick Peterson can do some matches okay, not Robert Woods. That's clearly proven when they played before. All the previous years and their matchup earlier this year, and their tight ends too. Tyler Higbee, Gerald Everett, both legit good, and the Cardinals struggle to man-to-man cover tight ends. Jordan Hicks is okay at it, but he's not like anything special. And Buda Baker, not a good man coverage player. So, especially down the field, I guess he's not quite so bad close to the line of scrimmage, but still, Gerald Everett can roast him consistently. So, if he can, again, if he can consistently hit open receivers off of play action, then the Rams are going to be able to move the ball fairly consistently. Now, I'm not going to get ahead of myself because the second they get into 3rd and 8, there's probably a lot of issues, but yeah, between the guys I mentioned, and even Van Jefferson, Josh Reynolds, better than the whatever corner lines up opposite them. So the tools are there. I have them tentatively projected at 18 to 26 points. But if Wolford's okay, then that's going to quickly approach 30. And if he sucks, and then they fall behind, then it might be in the 10 range. Hard to say with a quarterback you don't know anything about, but the tools are definitely there. So I would not bet on the Cardinals in this game. Really, I don't hate it because I do get that it's Kyler Murray versus a backup quarterback for sure. But the Rams is a team significantly better, and that might actually be enough in this case. Normally it's not, but the matchup is really bad for the Cardinals in this one. So lightly not bettable, lean on the Rams to win this game, and I do think the over is bettable just because the tools are really there, and Kyler has a high floor as a quarterback anyway. But you got to be careful with this one, and that is Week 17 Rams Cardinals.